neck and neck at the top spots. Multi-Circle Gaming only 3 points behind them.
How in the world is MCG still third place with one chicken dinner, and they're actually, even though we didn't really talk about them too much, they're still grabbing these kill points out of nowhere, challenging into few teams when no one else is making those charge, when there's that push rotation with the next circle. And happy to see that VLG stepping up a little bit further with those kill points. Fourth place.
In close quarters combat, teams like Multi-Circle Gaming really impress me. They're very strong in those situations. New Happy, pretty good in those. We've seen that as well. So I think that's a big part of it. They're putting themselves in good spots to take advantage of their team's strength, and that's just getting up close and personal and just brawling it out with their fists. Not literally, but figuratively. And I'm really, really impressed with Multi-Circle Gaming. I did an interview for an esports article. Screw that thought. Let's take a break, guys. The final game coming up here at PCS3 Asia.
한샤입니다. 이모트 챌린지 스타트.
It's been an epic duel between Korea and China here at PCS3 Asia. Today, things have swung back in the direction of Daehan Mingguk, which is Korean for the South Koreans.
Republic of Korea.
Yes, and they today have won 3 games. Now, that being said, that last game could have gone a lot of different ways, but at the end of the day, it was a freak of freaks coming through, but they are nowhere to be found on this top 5 damage board because VLG and New Happy were farming.
You happy? Free shots. Free shot, Schalke 1100. But it's a little disappointing that they did not have the chicken dinner. I think the big moment came down where they extended into Tiamba, losing a man against Loki, who was proning down. Unless that happened, I think they would have kept a Freak of Freaks out of circle and then get that big chicken dinner with just 4 AM versus You Happy.
Yeah, they all got kind of stuck up on a roof, and they had no outs except to fall. And that was not a great option, of course, as we saw. We laughed a little bit.
Yeah,
because
I think with that loss, they just came down to the decision saying, okay, let's just grab kill points.
Absolutely.
We can't win against 4 AM right now.
No, and I get it. I think that's, probably in the grand scheme of things, in that moment, I would probably do the same. I would probably just be like, let's just farm from the top. Let's see if we can catch these other teams. And it also, I didn't catch it because so much was going on. How many smokes they had, that plays a big role into that. If you're out of smokes, there's no way you're getting out of that building.
Yeah, and even some nades into the smokes that Freaks were using. If they had a couple of nades even into those smokes, I think they could have got some more knocks, pushing them out of the circle, gaining some just about right time so they can actually go down and challenge into 4 AM. But it's been done, and when you have these kind of city right in the circle ending, then sometimes you lack resources because you have to fight so many other teams. I think that it might have just came down to that. Okay, no smokes, no nades. Let's just have kill.
Precisely, and if they had smokes, they should have used them. Is the best way I can think about this. So you could have just thrown them down right at the bottom of the building, thrown maybe one at the top of the edge of the building, and then if you're going to jump, you can at least obscure yourself for an extra second. Maybe you get lucky. It's tough no matter what.
From that moment, I think if you lose some HP, more than half, you drop down, you're dead.
Yeah, that's that one. That one's gonna hurt. I think if you don't have full HP and you drop off the top of that, you're pretty much done,
you're left with like this much out of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but a pretty nice finish because of that. Afrika actually bringing the chicken dinner for Korea. Now it's actually 6 for Korea, 5 for China. The tides have turned. And that's big.
And I also want to point out that we haven't talked a lot about EJ this tournament, but we should. I think we talked about him a little bit at the very first day before. He was the top fragger in Korea.
Yes.
The guy's nuts.
Yeah, I see him with the most kills from the qualifiers. So and him alone from Afrika. Everyone else is just OGN and Entus and Genji. So knowing that he did carry the entire squad to come into yes here. And certainly showing that, along with HANYA, who I still think one of the best in close combat fights, who was before NN for Africa Fix. So those two you do have to keep your eyes on.
Absolutely. I think there's hope here for Africa. You've won 2 games. You just gotta kind of, you can't be boom or bust. You can't be all, which is what it feels like Africa has been. They're all or nothing. In the games that they're nothing, they're putting up 1 or 2 points, and it's just not enough. You gotta be able to hang with these big teams by getting decent kill points in most rounds.
Yeah, that's usually what happens when you don't really have that pushing power. Sometimes you can get the chicken dinner, but not enough points.
Yeah, game's ready, guys. The final Miramar of the day is starting now. Plane is up, plane path, almost a perfect 45-degree angle cutting from the northwest to the southeast. So one of the more fair plane paths we've seen on the day.
Yeah, I would say so. Not bad for teams all the way, except for the team that has to go all the way towards Torre or Azahar. Everything should be good enough. Final game! Which region, which country will it be? So far only from China and Korea. Grabbing those chicken dinners. Would like to see at least a finish from other region now.
I'm really hoping that we can see. I think K7. There's glimpses from them. Lockslok at times have been playing really well. Even GEX Yan Li had played very good for them. Sun Sisters just need a little more confidence at the right times. And Detonation Gaming White, even though they're at the bottom, they're a team that should be doing better, I think. And I'm just kind of waiting for them to have a round where they get like 10 kills in a win. I really mean that. I'm not just, I've seen them do it, and I know they're capable.
All these teams have the potential because they've got the first, second, third place or up to 6th place from the regionals. And Hero, what?
So Mamu here trying to take advantage of the fact that motorcycle is heavy.
Yeah, motorcycle is heavy, and you actually win a lot of those car fights, which is somewhat unreasonable, but Bike is actually very good to win the duels against those big vehicles.
Yeah, we actually loaded up the bike with lead. Like we put not just leaded gasoline, but also like actual lead bricks inside of it. So if there was ever like a nuclear explosion and you needed to hide yourself from radiation,
right behind the motorbike.
Yeah,
okay, not the tri-bike, please. That is not the bike.
Nope.
And
there's a reason we don't have that in PUBG Sports.
As you don't have to waste bullet popping the 3rd tire. And we do have the circle, very northern favor circle here. As a lot of teams from the bottom will be having a tough rotation, especially Entus because of the flight path. They ended up dropping all the way at the bottom.
Yeah, here it is. There's a grenade that explodes right up there too. And Roa is just like, thanks, open arms. As we get the replay from this wild finish. Forever doing forever here towards the end.
Somewhat clean finish. I was thinking that 4 AM has the power. Africa Freaks, they didn't really show this many moment of showing their power in the combat against the full squad. Finally showing some more signs, but I think when they're pushing from the hillside, which is somewhat lacking from Africa Freaks right now, using this chicken dinner to gain momentum, gain confidence boost, to make those type of bold plays.
On VLG's rotation a bit. VLG's trying to get a little more north of K7. K7's trying to cut them off, but I think, oh boy, okay, you can't actually get up that hill, Hikari. With that Murado, you don't have enough torque in those wheels on that type of terrain, so he's going to have to abandon it. This is the weird thing about Miramar is the Murado's fantastic because it's fast. It has good like cover if you're getting shot at.
You just have to press Control M and then use the vehicle because it's way too loud. Yeah, but sometimes you can get stuck. That's why you see a lot of these teams using the 4x4 or the motorbikes to go on top. Of course, you do not want to use that minivan.
Absolutely. So the landmark change being pointed out by observers is due to the plane path, not due to anybody contesting it or anything like that. It's purely plane path based, as the plane basically cut right across the south part of Los Leones.
Yes.
Long range shots from MCG into Sun Sisters. I'm hoping that Sun Sisters can find some success here in this last round. Crazy Sam, we know, is a very, very good player. I would put him up there with a lot of the good players in Korea and China. It's some of the other players that need to kind of pick it up and get going with him.
Yeah, always the Korean commentators did highlight Crazy Sam in every single global event when he was playing out there, as he oftentimes was called about 50% or more firepower from the entire squad. That's how good Crazy Sam is from the team.
He's a great... Okay, it's out in the middle of nowhere, really. There's nobody even remotely close to them.
Oh, yeah.
So that's not a problem. This might be a problem, though, as 4AM and Gen.G don't like each other very much.
Oh, no. It's 4AM with only 2 members, though.
Yeah.
Aqua 5's got some angle covered by the top.
Low-key. Oh, no.
Guppy's got that good lock. Roundhouse.
Oh, boy.
Oh, crazy.
G-Gleb, not good for Gen.G. That's not the way you want to start this fight, and now Godby has enough time to get the heals off because there was another knock over on the back end. The rest of 4AM has arrived, and it is crazy getting knocked here. It's those two, but it's not looking great.
Yeah, flashed and Guppy looking for a side angle. Pio should have him covered. Did see him for a split second.
Woo! He gets a little bit of damage from that N4. That's going to send him around the corner. Good call-outs, good communication between an Onyx and a Pio on that one to get the knock onto Godby, trying to get the finish. Lou is so hurt. He survives with a sliver of health, but look who showed up to the party. It's a freak of freaks.
And they're trying to take advantage of it, but Pio, he's got to look for that finish first. And
losing to an Onyx. And Onyx has been so good in these close quarter battles for Gen.G in this fight. And now he's looking to see if they can finish. Job Forever steps out on the bench, or on the balcony, excuse me, and HANYA put some shots into his back but didn't get the knock. And for 4AM, it started good, but it's falling apart.
Yeah, good news for all the other teams, as they've seen the kill feed, as some members of 4AM going down, Gen.G going down. That's a good news for the rest of the 14 teams.
HANYA is just kind of chilling, just like, okay, guys, like, if someone comes outside of this building up on the northern side, I'm gonna take that point. Thank you very much.
Yeah, because Africa Freaks, they don't have the entire squad here. It's still 2.
Can pick up an extra point somewhere. That's all you really need in this. You don't want to lose HANYA early on to this. Lou is pretty much... we're going for it. Okay.
Yep, getting that rest onto Shadow
Wow.
should be okay, as I think Gen.G, yeah, because he's also getting shots from Africa Freaks, scared that they are going to be shut down from the hillside. They are choosing in the building.
Good smokes here from 4AM to cover this door so they can get to Lou. And this is really smart from 4AM. We talked about it earlier on today, G-Cliff, where they're much better this particular event than they have been in the past so far this year at getting back to their teammates and getting them rezzed.
Yeah, exactly, as Guppy did show a lot of his power. Near perfected the team back in PCL, and also in this tournament, still 2v2. What in the world? Getting that shot in through the window. Wow. So fast from Forever.
He's so good. He is just absolutely just cracked out of his mind. We're waiting for this next circle, as you know, we did go pretty far north, so we're seeing a little bit of battling for position early on. Hard shifts tend to send people that way, as there was not a lot of teams that dropped up towards the north because the plane was just shifted a bit towards the south.
San Martin. No, right on top. As this could be near the mountain finish. And near MCG, they're still right there near the circle. Entus trying to make that late rotation now because they started all the way south this time.
Yeah, there's actually Entus still in the blue. Grenade gonna come through, doesn't get the knock onto Lou. It looked like it might be good enough, but just not quite. Lou's gonna have to heal up. Already one knock in the belt for him, so he doesn't want to go down again because you bleed out so much faster on that second one. Like what Pero's doing, just watching the map a bit while this fight continues to go on. They kind of pushed in the center of their mountain. But Mamu, they're doing a 1-3, and I thought they might be better off grouping as 4. All right, back to this fight.
He's saying, we've got to get this down. Either we go down or you guys go down right now.
They saw that move by Pio, so he catches some damage from that grenade. Now he's behind the haystack, and he's going to kind of dance back and forth. He knows there's 2 there. He can't find a good angle to get shots, and his feet are a bit exposed underneath that vehicle, so he backs off.
Shalu was on fire. So could not really help Forever right there. Pio for it's basically two 1v1s right now. Yeah, Forever gathered up with Charlotte in near the building. Pio is trying to juke, open up the angle. Gets on top!
Oh my goodness, gets up on top. So smart here from Anonix. That is going to be one more player left. Forever prone. He's the prawn gamer on the ground and trying to see what he can do to get this 2v1. Again, nobody else is here.
We see this much, but through the smoke you can't really see anything.
Yeah, we have X-ray vision on. We have the Superman superpowers. So look at Forever. He's so smart. He's so cagey. They think he's in here. No, he's long gone. He's back in the U-shape house. He's do-si-doed you and bamboozled you.
And because of the smoke, you can't really hear those footsteps away from that building there. Genji, I think that's the only vehicle they can use, unless the tire was popped from the other side.
I'm not... Yeah, you're right. By the way, New Happy's the one shooting at this from a... The counterfire isn't fast enough. Forever on the go. He's going to come around the side, see if anybody... He knows they're over on this end, and Pio's getting up on the roof to get a top angle, get some good damage into Forever, but it isn't going to be enough to get the finish. Oh, and he's on top, and he's going to get the job done. Genji, in a extremely long, protracted battle, comes out ahead.
Yeah, without Pio, I think Forever was going to get that knock into Enonix, but after seeing Pio on top of the roof there, the aim actually traced into Pio. Yeah. Without having that information, kept his teammate alive. Also got the kill coming from that rooftop. Nicely done by the two. 4 a.m. going out this early in that final game can't be a good sign going into day number 4.
So, meanwhile, while this is going on, they're showing us the map so you can see what the other teams have done. Detonation Gaming is off your screen to the northeast, coming in very, very late. Meanwhile, Entis is going to find a favorable circle with their late entrance into the southwest side. They're going to have the edge of the second crater field. I don't have a good name for that other crater. There's the crater field, and then there's this other crater, the military base crater. There's like, because there's the military buildings in it. I don't know what to call it. That's challenging, no doubt about it. It is an interesting situation, but Entis has gone 2-2. They sent somebody towards Sun Sister. You can see that just to the west there of New Happy as they are looking down at Tianma. Tianma's doing what they do best, being patient, poking and prodding, finding any weakness they can exploit in the positions of the other teams. The final code of the day arrives up on top above MCG and WZNQUKJ56R8A. For any of you who have your client open and want to get that in there. Sorry if I was a little too fast for you, but we got games to talk about as Pio does have a motorcycle, and him and Anonix are able to find vehicles to get out of this.
Yeah, pretty sure chat's got you covered with that code. Just copy and paste. Be a nice guy. Make sure you don't have a typo in there. Sometimes it just never works.
Yeah, sometimes you... something up on the northern side of the circle to rotate a little bit closer together, and it's going to be too hard. That top fragger for Griffin going down.
Made a pretty long rotation from that western side of Miramar all the way from Cobreria, going down this... from the roadside, you know there are a lot of teams on top of these hills, and it's too high up that you can't really have the angle. But you can actually, from that hillside, you can actually look into like 600, 700 meter far. So Infantry Day will have a lot of those information before going down.
The interesting thing for Infantry is there is Detonation Gaming White that's rolling up on that mountaintop as well from the east, and we'll see if that plays out. Pio, in the meantime, just seeing what's available at the center, hoping that him and Anonix can use this canyon to get...
Doesn't really have the full squad, but still right near MCG, and MCG, they did lose a member from what I saw, but because of their angle, I think they can actually keep Genji safe against from Pero, from VLG, and a lot of these teams that are going to climb from that northern side.
Yeah, this is one of those moments where you just pull up and you go, well, this is fine, this'll do. Yeah. Detonation Gaming White, in the meantime, still, they got kind of bullied off of the mountain, and now they send it down towards Afrika, and VLG's on top of this as well, and this is not looking good for Detonation Gaming White.
Not at all. Afrika getting on top, Pero, and also VLG getting a taste of that rotation. Yeah, when you make that big shift, now that circle is on to the east. Even worse for.
And Gokuri does survive and get in, but at what cost, as 3 of his teammates fall. And right on top of Pero with a 2-2 split. Now I'm a little worried about Pero. They gotta think about getting together here.
I don't think they can now with that poke from OPGG, and they might just actually stay there unless they have just direct motorbikes to go through with a few smokes onto top where XTD is actually at. Unless that happens quickly enough, I don't think they can have a full squad.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that too. It all just depends on, I don't know what the vehicle situation is like. That's kind of what, if there were motorcycles, maybe. Then maybe that would be the way that I to seeing a Freak's doing, to be honest.
Yep, against VLG, both teams having an understanding they're out there onto the other side of this hill. I don't think Afrika is going to challenge into Pero, just taking the side of the next hill and it's staying put just against K7. Should be good enough, and K7 is still just bursting out fire against Gokuri from DGW, and I don't think he's gonna last too long.
Yeah, he's been spotted by Zennon now, and Zennon almost able to find the angle onto Gokuri. He can finish the vehicle off, blow it up, and if there's some bad luck for Gokuri, this is why he's moving away from it, because if it blows up and lands on him, he dies. Instead, it does a backflip, lands, ooh, 10 out of 10, the judges like that. But Gokuri here is able to move back behind it.
Yeah, we'll be safe for maybe a couple of more minutes, unless all the other teams from north. Now finally they moved out from the mountainside.
I see GEX over on the west heading towards it. Infantry now, they've got Griffin hanging out in the warehouse. 9 is observing this. Sura takes some damage. Tianba, they're on the south side, but once again, it's going to be the Sun Sisters in their way. Let's see if the Sun Sisters can turn their fortunes around in this one.
Guys, infantry, they got the early, not a lead in rotation, but Griffin just let them come down, which was sort of weird. I thought Griffin was going to challenge the rotation.
Good decisions, and then they do stuff like this where they're just ripped right out of their vehicles. This is going to be another one almost assuredly. They're trying to side seat swap. Doesn't quite work out. Now they do come through here, and then they get out and right into Hikari. Oh no! Okay, it's actually Roa from Afrika Freaks. Lambu gonna finish off Griffin in 15th place. Another bad day for them as they are going to be right towards the bottom of the leaderboard.
Oh, as Griffin, they 100% knew that VLG was there, and also Afrika, because they did get that shot from not very far from where they are at right now. But knowing that infantry is right in front of you, well, tough luck. You are just lost out of nowhere. Yes.
Compared to some of these other teams, and it's been a big part of their success story so far.
Yeah, Griffin, it was a uphill to climb. You can't really get that much speed anyhow, so it was tough, but K7...
Gokuri, with some help from Buyao, wipes New Happy out of this match and out of the day. Holy
in a split second.
Cow.
You happy?
Oh no,
disappeared from the map.
Oh my god, no. Oh, what? No, what happened? No, I can hear the Greencasters. We have a complete, I can hear them like crying.
A disaster, and Tianba's going to come for the challenge as they saw the knocks. We see the fight here, but this is the push.
Oh no.
This is just a cleanup duty from now on.
What happened?
And Indigo picks the last kill onto Kendusu from the lower angle. As Tianba found the perfect timing. Basically, opportunity for Tianba, who was actually having a tough time coming in, either diving into Sun Sisters or rotating from the eastern side. So somewhat lucky there.
Well, let's put that one in our bag and save our disappointment for another day, as infantry has rocked and rolled towards MCG, but we've seen it time and again here so far throughout this tournament that MCG is very good in close quarter situation. Infantry no slouches themselves, so this ought to be a really good fight. There's no choice. Both teams have to go at it. Longsker trying to look around the corner, but Evil Lee is there with that right side peek. Going to be using that to his advantage as Longsker peppering some shots. Actually, that's a Gen G or VLG. I can't tell exactly which.
I think VLG.
I think you're right. And that's going to, a grenade there, some damage is going to send Longsker packing.
They're challenging into Afrika, and they should know, VLG should know that Afrika is right next to them, so this big squad fight is about to happen. Summer. Ooh.
Good thing you're prone. Oop, but now the fire's on you. That's going to burn him. There's no way he can get that heal off in time. He is going to be knocked, and that is going to be the opening for infantry that they want to push onto this. Immediately into the house, swarming like bees. And now it is, okay, so Summer is still the only one knocked here, but they come into the house, and that's going to be Evil Lee down.
Lin finding that right time. I think the communication was right on point for infantry, but GEX is also pushing right on them. They got the knock. They have no idea that they're right next to him, finally getting a peek.
GEX needs to take this fight and win it. Maoye finds 2 quick and easy. Longsker and 9 are knocked. Takey's gonna come through, try to steal those. GEX with a fantastic third party. There's only one left here.
Exactly what you have mentioned, Paper Thin. They need to get these massive finish and look for fights. Kill points is what matters a lot in this tournament, and showing that aggressive play. Finally, GEX is going to manage to do once.
I love it. I absolutely love this move by GEX. Yes, that's the edge of the circle, but you need to get those points where you can, and they do a fantastic job of paying attention to their sound cues and their kill feed. Now, OGN has an uphill battle to Tianba, but Tianba has been wounded throughout this game, and Entis still has 4 up.
This is an angle where Tianba can't really get too much fire down from the buildings. They apart on top.
Gen G is pinched between like 3 different teams, and they're making it work somehow, some way. You can see it on the bottom right-hand corner with the picture-in-picture. This fight between Entis and Tianba, we're focusing on this because these are the top teams in this particular lobby.
Yes.
So we need to watch this fight.
Yes, Lorenz still looking for that option. Oh, Entis actually might not go directly. Okay, like this patient, it's always OGN. They check one by one all corners and then move into the next house. Love this move, even though it requires a lot of resources from them. It's better to keep the full squad up.
100%. And I'm really kind of hoping that Gen G can make this work as I watch that bottom right-hand screen, but Pio does go down. They've been doing such a good job. 7 kills with a bad start to this against 4 AM. They lose.
Out all the way far into VLG.
Look at Entis, they're like, we know you're not going to push on us, Tianba, so we're going to go shoot at everybody else in this lobby while we wait. We're both in circle. We can wait this out. We've got better sight lines onto this stuff. Now, Gen G does get 7th place. In Onyx and Pio, you got to give them a lot of credit. They stepped up big time.
Even though how bad their starting was, 7th place is not the worst with just 2 men alive with a few more kills. Basically stolen away from VLG. Now, OGN finally making that push after somewhat other fights were controlled on the northern side.
Yeah, and now it is going to force a fight because of the circle movement between Tianba and Entis. Entis no slouches in close quarters combat. Under is an absolute master at these situations.
Less than 30 seconds, but look at this 180 control. This is going to be insane.
Look at this gun Lorena has.
S12K.
The S12K. This is a fantastic gun in this situation. One of the best.
Angle they cover from that side, and OGN, they know they have to push right now. 11 seconds before the circle closes.
I'm just leaving this building if I'm Entis, to be honest with you.
Like, just
I'm not going up these stairs. I've seen corner. It's going to be M200 going down here. Entis doesn't even get knocked. Now Lorena with that Saiga, seeing if he can find something. He has level 3 gear, but is extremely beat up. Comes up and over. Gets 1, doesn't get the finish.
The circle's closing now. OGN, Entis has to go. Indigo turns around and gets the kill. That was almost too dangerous. With 2 knocks, we're going to be in worse of a position.
That stopped my heart. Wow. My heart is just like starting up again, and
It's 12K, man.
oh, it's so good. It's one of my favorite guns to see because it can absolutely 1v4 a team.
Although, Jen, they are lacking vehicles, and I don't know how many smokes that they have. I don't think they will last too long against K7, but the shots are coming in, so that's good signs. And with that sign, with that turret setup on the back, they're running into K7. This is the play they need.
Oh, Kale is being that, he's already done it successfully one time today, so they're going to rely him on again. And at this time, they're getting shot on the side. Sungjong is knocked. There could be another knock coming through here. Finish onto Sungjong. Pero and OPGG dusting it up as OPGG might just be about to be wiped out of this one. Kale now has found his way up to the side of the hill. K7 doesn't seem like they know too much. They got to be careful. This guy on the right from Kale, good shots with him and Indigo. Going to get one, but now he's going to pay the price. Indigo got Zenon here, so it is a 2-for-1 right now for Entus.
Yeah, and just spraying down K7. They had no idea they were this close to the fight under Indigo's the last one all the way on the back for Entus and Pero.
Do we have Pero? No, he isn't able to get the trigger down in time. Mamu is going to finish Entus off in third place. K7 going to get the res here in a 2v4. It looks like it's going to take one heck of a miracle from K7 to get this done.
Yeah, and Pero with that angle split apart 2-2 already in that next circle, as they have to still come up the hill. There are some rocks that you can use, but because Pero, they stayed in the building for such a long time, they have a lot more resources to use compared to K7. And of course outnumbered by far, but miracles can happen in this angle.
Absolutely. Zenon and Buyo, they're working around the side. They're cutting off as much of Pero's angles as they can. This is what you do. Get Pero in a line, and then you can just kind of mow them down one by one. Make it as easy. A good grenade from K7. That could actually change the tides of this battle.
Yeah, right there. Zenon misses one, going next to his teammate, proning down, just buying some time, but the circles are closing on them. Pero, it seems like they have the chicken dinner cooked and ready. That's the member down. Now, Puyo, the last one alive. It is going to be Patricia Road finally getting that chicken dinner, matching it 6-6 between Korea and China to finish up day number 3.
Yeah, they did a good job early on coalescing as a team. They never overstepped their boundaries. They never lost anybody early. There were some instances where it could have happened, but they navigated successfully. XDD with 6 kills in that one. Mamu with 2. Long DD with 1. As, yeah, their first win, and I kind of felt like it was only a matter of time before we saw these guys do something.
They oftentimes, especially last week, ended up just charging into a team with a compound saying, okay, we're good at fights, let's just run into teams, which no other teams were actually doing. In phase 2 and phase 3, you don't really see too many teams going up, charging up against other teams in the compounds, but this team on the screen right now was the only team trying those, and oftentimes losing 1-2 members did lack them from getting a chicken dinner, but finally with some better circles and right movement, when they need the chicken dinner, they have grabbed it on Miramar.
And there's really good players on this team, and they're just trying to find their footing. They're a newly put together team for this most recent phase. It is hard when you're newly formed and trying to get to these big tournaments and have success.
Certainly, yes, they will still. Yeah, this was a big moment of 4 AM Genji. Of course, Genji, Pio and Loki winning that end duel against 4 AM. It took them a long enough time, though. That was maybe up to like 6-7 minutes.
What I found hilarious about that fight was eventually
fall back. We just keep the 2v2. Keep that 2-2.
I don't want to get PO'd or forevered. I don't want either of those things to happen. Let's just move on with life.
Despite M200, I know he was being pushed by resources, but would have liked a lot more if he just kept the position. Would at least get maybe more knocks, maybe even a full squad wipe because of the firepower that they actually had.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It is hard no matter what, but they're in the heat of the moment, there are things you can do to turn the tides of a battle, and it is going to be Patricia?
Petricor, yeah.
Okay, Petricor.
Also a very did see very promising signs from GEX. It loved that push.
Yes.
And even how chaotic the situation was, OG Nash enters with lack of vehicles, getting one as a bait tool, and diving into K7. That split decision, knowing that they cannot get the first place, going against K7 was absolutely nuts. That takes a lot of experience to actually make that shot call within the split second.
Yeah, and it gives them more points than anybody who was below them that was close.
Yes.
K7 and Petrichor Road were kind of farther down the leaderboard, so for Entis, that move is enough to keep them ahead of the Ghiblis, the Tianbas, the MCGs. MCG with only 1 point in that one, so a couple 1-point games for MCG. Not their best day, not their worst. Genji comes through with a tough fight. GEX then, after they won that battle, went over to try to third-party the fight going on between Afrika, Genji, and VLG, and it just like, whatever was going on over there, Genji was just popping people.
Yeah, Genji just kept on punching against everyone, against Afrika Freaks, against GEX, against everyone who came around them, because they had nothing else to lose. With just 2 men left, okay, the maximum we can do is maybe better placement, but mostly we're looking for is kill points. So they took the right fight. So from the scrims that we had yesterday, it seems like the team that did really well are continuing their momentum. As we have seen, MCG not really doing well at all from scrims, not really showing up as much compared to what they have done in week 1.
So a 40-point day for OG and Entis is going to put them on top of the leaderboards. They started at 71 today. They end up at 111. So that seems to be that magic number that you need. 10 points per game.
Exactly.
And you find yourself atop the leaderboard.
Almost 10 points in, and consistency has been the name for OG and Entis, Tiemba, MCG, and especially also for 4AM. There were some couple of explosive rounds for them, but mostly overall the story has been going for the Korean side today, as there were some couple of chicken dinners for themselves.
Yeah, Ghibli continues to play very well. So does 4 Angry Men. Look at this. These two teams aren't just, hitting each other